Hey, I'm going to be doing a paranormal video, and I've only had 3 paranormal experiences, but I'm just now starting to get very interested in the paranormal again, because it used to interest me a couple years back, and I'm just now starting to get back into it. And so one of the paranormal experiences I had was when I used to live in Lake Murray. There was an old graveyard dating all the way back to the 1700s, and the story behind this graveyard was, so it was in the woods, and it was a very wooded area. The story behind this graveyard is there would be a house, and back in the 1700s there would be a family graveyard, and you could see the graveyard from outside the kitchen window, and all your family members would be buried there. The house was totally torn down, of course, and so me and my brother's ex-girlfriend and my brother and my dog, we all went to that graveyard, and my dog started barking at random things, and my dog had also peed on a gravestone or headstone, and so maybe he disturbed a spirit, but I was getting really shooken up, and I felt things following me. And I felt things walking in front of my path. And I just felt really uncomfortable, and that's probably the most uncomfortable I felt in a graveyard. And then the second experience that I've had was last summer in Jekyll Island, Georgia. Me and my mom were in an old cemetery dating back to the 1800s. And I was fine up front to the newer areas, but in the way back to the 1800s and almost to the 1700s, the early 1800s, is where I started getting uncomfortable. I got shooting sharp pains in my ears. It felt like someone was taking a knife and stabbing it and twisting it in my stomach, and I just felt really uncomfortable. I felt like I shouldn't be there. And I told my mom about it, and of course we got out of there, and as soon as we got out of the cemetery, I was fine. And I haven't been back to a cemetery since then. I haven't been in a cemetery and roaming around since then. And cemeteries really interest me, so I've been wanting to go back to a cemetery lately. But the third experience I had was me and my mom were in the car. She was driving. We had drove past a old cemetery, and all of a sudden my seatbelt unbuckled. I wasn't touching it. It was buckled really good. But my mom had told me a story that when she was little, my uncle would always reach over to her and unbuckle her seatbelt as a little joke. And so I kind of just shrugged it off. And I thought it was my uncle, but to this day, I don't know if it is my uncle or not. And my uncle is passed. He passed away when I was in 6th grade. He committed suicide. He took a shotgun and shot himself right below his chin. And that was on Christmas Eve. I'm sorry for my dog, he's moving around. That was around Christmas Eve, and then 13 hours of surgery. My Aunt Shannon, or my cousin Shannon, had said, would there ever be a day that I can push my dad in a wheelchair and he would know who I am and where he was? And the doctor said no, so she said no more surgery. And he finally had his last heart attack on New Year's Eve. And so New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve are not my best holidays, so I don't really enjoy them. Okay, I had to get my dog out. So I've been wanting to go back to cemeteries lately and maybe do an EVP session, but I need to get the money to get the electronics and stuff. But it might be a problem. But one day I do want to start doing investigations and things. I don't know what kind, well, of course, what kind, paranormal. But, like, I don't know, like, if I want to take it seriously, but, like, I don't know, it might just be, like, a side thing because it interests me. I'm not going to charge or anything. Just for the fun. But the paranormal is something that people normally judge me about because I'm, like, really interested in it. And they're like, oh, you're crazy, ghosts don't exist. And of course I believe in that stuff. It's my beliefs. You can, like, go believe in whatever you want over in your little corner. And I have asked my mom before if I could use my grandma's Ouija board. Well, not use it, but, like, have it in my room, because I think Ouija boards are, like, really cool. But people do say that, like, Ouija boards are like the devil's keyboard. I don't believe in that. I mean, yes, you could come in contact with the wrong spirit, and they could, like, get attached to you. But you just have to be, well, you can't be careful. You can't control who you talk to on a Ouija board. But, like, you don't know if it's true or not. Because, like, as I say sometimes, the Ouija board only works when there's that one asshole who decides to move the planchette. And me and my friend went to my woods. Like, I have woods in my neighborhood, and we went to my woods. I had made a Ouija board, and we tried to use it, but it didn't work. It moved a little, and I know that she wasn't messing around because she was scared by them, and I wasn't messing around because I wanted to see what would happen. It moved a little, but we never got actual answers. And so, like, the reason why I wanted to do it in my woods is because, like, whenever I'm back there, I feel like people are always, or spirits are always watching me. Like, I get an eerie feeling. But I don't know if it's spirits or if it's just my mind wanting me to think it's spirits. I'm not really sure. But I do want to maybe do paranormal investigations when I'm older. But it's something that I'll have to, like, invest on and get the money to buy, like, a ghost box and EVP recorders and probably a Ouija board. But my mom hates Ouija boards, so I've never, like, built up the courage to ask her about a Ouija board. Well, I mean, I have, but, like, I've never built up the courage to get into an argument about them. And she hates them so much that me and my friend had used one in 6th grade at her house to talk to her dad. And we were getting legitimate answers. I mean, I know she wasn't messing around because she wanted actual answers. And I wasn't messing around because I honestly didn't really care. And, like, they were, like, actual answers that were true. Like, we were asking her, like, what was, like, was it right? Or I was asking her, was it right? And she said yes to everything. Like, we asked, what age was he when he died? 23. It was right. And she grounded me for that, because I told her about it. And I wasn't allowed to hang out with that friend for a month. And then after that month, she could only come over to my house for about the next 4 weeks. And so I haven't really, like, messed around with a Ouija board other than, like, just a couple months ago. And she doesn't know about that because the Ouija board I just threw in the woods. But I guess that's all I want to share. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Thank you.